Hi guys, I am back from London and as you can hear, my voice is back and better. If you watched last week's action chip, you will know that I got sick previous to that and lost my voice. Losing my voice has been something which I have suffered with for years. Ever since I was 18, 19, I taught a lot of dancing. I used to scream over the little 5-year-olds with their tap shoes on, and I got into this habit of losing my voice. I had never been happy or comfortable with my voice. I never liked my voice. At school, I was the person who never wanted to put their hand up because I didn't want to speak. I didn't want to be heard. There was actually a time when I was around 7 or 8. I was singing in the school choir and I think I had a cold. And I remember the singing teacher coming around and saying, "Someone is singing out of tune, who is it?" And she threw me out of choir. I have had many traumatizing experiences with my voice, so both physically, emotionally, and it's been really an area that I feel has been one of my biggest blocks to being out in the world and sharing my message. Because I have this inspiration and this vision and this clarity inside of me, and often when I try to bring it out, it feels like it gets lost in translation or it gets tired or fatigued, and it's been an ongoing battle for much of my life of how am I going to get what is inside of me out of me, and is my voice ever going to change, or is this just the way it is? I am so thrilled to let you know that I feel a change. I don't know if you can hear a change if you go back and watch my videos from the past few weeks and even the one before I got sick. It was very different, very strained. You can hear a lot of tension in my voice, and absolutely I know I have a long way to go. I am by no means there, but I can feel a big shift, and I want to let you know why that shift occurred, what I did to get there, and how you can have it too. So in this video, I'm gonna give you just 3 things that you can start practicing right away to help your voice, to support your voice, and to really connect into a freedom and a power and a resonance within your voice that maybe you thought wasn't possible. So the first thing we're going to do is go to an area in our neck, the place just above our voice box. There's a little bone called the hyoid bone. It's a circular, almost like a horseshoe shaped bone, and it sits alone. And what I mean by that is that it is not connected to any other bones. It is simply suspended via muscles and the musculature of our neck. And there's many muscles that attach to it, and then on top of this bone sits our tongue. And our tongue is also a big muscle. And in this whole area, most of us, I know for myself, I definitely carry a lot of tension in this area, and that affects our voice. It's like, we go to speak and then it cracks and I can't get it. And the more we try, the worse it gets. And that has been my experience my entire life, where I would try to project my voice, or I'd try to let my voice come out, and that trying is counterproductive and actually ends up making it worse. So what we need to do is release some tension in this area. How do we release tension? We release tension by bringing our awareness, our focus, and our image into the area that we're focusing on. And using some Franklin method, we can go in and see, okay, how is this designed to move? What is the design from my anatomy? And can I see that? Can I become that? Can I embody that? So you're going to find this little bone called your hyoid, and you're going to see if you can just give it a little wiggle, side to side. And while you're doing that, you're breathing. So obviously breathing is a very important piece of your voice. But for now, we're just going to focus on this area, give it a wiggle. And then you're going to imagine that there are muscles that go from the hyoid bone up. And we're just going to give them a little stretch. And then as you put your chin down, they're going to come together, and you're going to lift your hyoid. And down. And one more, and lift. Lengthen, stretching this area, and coming back. center. And then we're going to imagine the muscles down underneath the hyoid. So there's also muscles that connect down. There's actually a muscle that goes from your hyoid all the way to your scapula. So if your shoulders are tight or lifted, it's going to affect your voice. And so all these little details, the tension that we hold in our physicality affects our ability to function with ease. And for me, that is the goal. How do I be most efficient? How do I share my message? How do I live my full power and potential without straining, without getting tired, without feeling like I'm gonna crash if I keep pushing? And so by noticing these areas and starting to have an understanding of, oh, this is how it's designed, you can become it. And as if by magic, it's like, oh, there it is. What was I stressing about? So now you're gonna just again lift up and imagine the muscle under hyoid, lengthening, and down, and up, and down. And then you're going to just put one hand on your scapula, give it a little rub, particularly this area here, right where the levator scapula, the muscle that lifts the shoulder blade, comes in, and just turn your head away, and then take it together, give a little wiggle and away. Oh, and notice that side. Oh my goodness, yeah, you can see shoulder has dropped. And let's go to the other side. So hand on hyoid, hand on scapula, give it a wiggle back there, take it towards, and away, and towards, and away, and towards, and away, and a little wiggle. Nice free hyoid, free neck, free area. Also the thyroid is right here, so it's also going to affect that. And just notice how you feel, and maybe say something. Notice if your voice has changed at all. So that is the first thing that you can do. Bring awareness to your hyoid, the muscles in this area. We just did a very little bit here, but if you did it with me, I'm sure you are feeling a change already. So the next thing we're going to bring our awareness to, surprisingly enough, is our breath. So I have been aware and teaching breathing for a very long time. In fact, I have a video on YouTube from way back when where I was teaching some Franklin method breathing exercises. And everything I knew and understood and embodied is correct, but I was missing some other pieces as it connected to voice. So when I was in London, I had the opportunity to work with an incredible guy. His name is Colin, and I'm hoping to introduce you guys to him at some point. And he worked with me and really helped me to discover some of this and really put some of these pieces together. So what he really helped me to connect in my awareness as it connected to breath is the fullness and capacity, particularly really down into my abdomen and even into my pelvis and pelvic floor. So while I was in London, Eric was teaching the pelvic floor, so I really got to go deep into visualizing and seeing the musculature, the orientation, how the pelvic floor is designed to a whole nother level than I'd experienced before. And I've done the pelvic floor a whole bunch of times. Done the pelvic floor. That sounds really weird, but hopefully you know what I mean. So what we're going to do is actually take your hands. Right now I'm sitting, and you're going to just sit on your hands and see if you can feel those two bony bones at the bottom, your sit bones. And what I'd like you to do is just to give them a little massage. So if there's anyone around watching, maybe just like tell them to go away for a moment. And what you're going to do is just lift one and the other and just give them a little like squish best you can. And then you're going to lift one side and then the other, so lifting your butt cheeks off the chair and breathing. And then you're going to just imagine your pelvic floor widening as you breathe in. So that means that those sit bones that you just felt are going to spread, they're going to move apart, and you can even do a little like arch of your spine and just spread your butt. Spread those sit bones and breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to do the opposite. So we're going to exaggerate this motion. So you're going to bring your sit bones together and almost like tuck your butt underneath you. So we're going to exaggerate that motion. So as you breathe in, let sit bones spread. And as you breathe out, sit bones come together, and really breathe out all the way. And see if you can keep the chest as relaxed as possible. You can give a little tap and let sit bones and pelvic floor really feel activated, and so it's really helping the breath to come deep into your body, and you might notice that just created a change in my voice and in my breath. So the third thing we're going to do is a little tapping of our sinuses and nose. So we don't often think inside of our heads and noses. I mean, I hadn't, but actually that's not true. I kind of do, but not like this. Anyway, so now we're going to do a little tapping of our nasal passages, and just imagining those passageways opening up, and you're going to make a little sound. So you're going to like kind of almost like whining. And rest. So we release some tension in our neck. We helped to bring the breath deeper and wider and more into our pelvis, so really helping that drop and anchor. And we created some space in our nasal passages. That is the place, one of the places where the resonance, the sound is going to vibrate, create this resonance. So what does this all mean for you? Obviously it's going to support your voice, the health of your voice, the vibrancy, etc. But if you are an entrepreneur, or if you want to influence people, if you have something to say and you want to be heard, this is essential. And we can hear and feel the resonance that is in people's voice. Whether it is the written word on Instagram, or it is if it's in a video, or if you're speaking to people, there is a frequency that people can feel, a vibration, a feeling, a vibe. You know, they say your vibe attracts your tribe. So as you are able to connect into this power and potential of your voice, understand its design and function, understand what is resonance, and along with that, start to let go of a lot of the emotional patterns, the memories, the identity that we have connected to our voices, which is so key if we actually want to make a change. Because when your voice changes, you change, you become a different person. It's like, who am I with this resonance, with this frequency? So I know that I am stepping into my next level of voice and connection and sharing my message out with the world. And part of my journey is my knowing that I am here to share that with you. So if you would like to create more impact, if you would like to be heard in this noisy world, if you have a message or you don't even know what that message is, but you have something inside that you would like to come out, a truth, a connection, a here is why I am here, a frequency, then I would love to invite you to come and explore this deeper with me. If you click the link below, it's going to take you to a place where you can get a free PDF, basically all these pieces spelled out for free, and you can start to practice these. And then if you are ready to go deeper into this, to free your voice, to unlock the potential that is there, then join me for Superhuman Voice. So we're going to be exploring what is resonance, how do I connect to that voice that wants to come through me, how do I free the layers of trying and effort that have been painted on top, how do I let go of the patterns, the traumas, the memories, the definition of who I am and the value I have to share. And we're going to be becoming new people in this workshop. I'm going to be sharing science, ideas, and anatomical awareness that you won't have heard anywhere else, and putting these pieces together in a way that's going to blow your mind. So get pumped for Superhuman Voice. It is going to take you to the whole next level. I cannot wait to see you there, and I can't wait to see and hear and experience what we have to share and what we have to share together on our planet. So just click the link below, opt in to get that PDF, and join me for Superhuman Voice.